I am Debbie Rochon. I just wrapped on North Woods, which was really an incredible experience. It was only a couple of days, but there was so much that we got in a couple of days and so many things that happened. And I look disheveled because I'm a distraught mother that has lost her daughter to a horrible person that you would see on one of those True Detective shows, and other things happen. It's really an amazing project, and I was really drawn to it because, okay, here you have all of this footage that was taken on by Jason and his associates here in Colorado, and it was really amazing, astonishing footage. Like, it just really brought me back to like true raw indie Eraserhead vibe that was just extremely original. It defies all of the rules, it defies all of the stereotypes. There's nothing that happens that you see in every other movie. It was just very original, even though, you know, my function was probably the most normal, if you will, but definitely an important part to add into this amazing footage that was shot a few years ago, and now the movie is being completed with the characters to really round it out, and I'm extremely happy and excited to be a part of it because I think it's going to be extremely cool. The editing, I think Jason's an amazing editor, and what he's going to do with the footage, it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun to see. Chris, I've yet to meet him, but he is sickly talented. It was a real pleasure, and there was a lot of funny things that happened, even though my scenes, pretty much all of them were really emotional scenes. But there was a lot of funny things that happened during the shoot. You know, being eaten alive in the woods, the crew and myself, and these guys are incredible troopers. I mean, you can't find nicer people than the people working on this movie. So yeah, we had that. But no snakes, which was a good thing, and no brown recluse spiders, which was a really good thing. But, you know, 35 mosquito bites in a few hours, that was fun. And, you know, going to another location, being stopped by a police officer, which is not an unusual thing, but it was very comical because he was, like, throwing these algebra questions at us, like, you know, if you're going at this speed, how many, you know, gigawatts does it take for the ions to change form and you can pass that car. It was just it was a funny experience, and he let us out. So thank you, State Trooper in Colorado, Brian, I'm making his name up. When people have scripts that are not ready, that's the biggest flaw that indie filmmakers have. That they go out there and they've rushed their script. They're not prepared in that regard, because that is the blueprint from which everything will blossom or not blossom. Without all of the ideas in place, you can't have a DP that can now do his thing with your ideas, because everything's been put together. He's not just like struggling to try to make sense of something that is not completed. You have actors who now can take the characters and just embellish upon it, improvise, excuse me, if need be, and just take it to the next level. And every other department, like the sound mix, the editor, and everybody involved, special effects department, lighting department, nobody can riff off of something that's weak. It's trying to, something that's weak takes so much effort to try to pull together to be passable. And there's a lot of that out there. And that's fine, you know, we all go through stages of growing, but the thing, do not rush your script. That's like the first most important thing that I could say to anybody. I'm finishing Model Hunger, but there's no new projects that I am personally trying to get off the ground. There's projects I'm involved with, I should rephrase that I'm trying to help filmmakers get off the ground, yes. But as a director, no. I've been, you know, the next segment of time will be, you know, continuing to work, continuing the post, and then the nurturing of Model Hunger. Once it actually, you know, I give birth to it and it goes out into the world and I have to take it around to meet family, hopefully all over the world, that would be beautiful. But my book is really important to me. So that would be the thing for myself, that would be the next big thing along with Model Hunger. And again, it's not as though I'm taking away from the filmmakers. I'm trying to assist to help them make their dreams. Okay, Model Hunger, the sort of concise storyline would be a woman played by Lynn Lowry, many years ago was sort of a fetish model. She wanted to be a legitimate actress, but she was more like a Bettie Page model, with dreams of going on to film acting. She was replaced, her body type was replaced by Twiggy, like a Twiggy model, you know, sort of like heroin chic or, you know, anorexia, as, you know, what's really happened in real life. And she rebels against it, so she's basically just shunned by the business when this new body type becomes the popular thing, like size 0. That's why I came up with the tagline, size 0 is a bitch. Because that goes 100 ways, and it's meant 100 ways. Every way you could think of it, it's meant. And the only way she's been able to deal with it, you know, the short version is by cannibalizing young women, some men too, but young women who she comes across that are very shallow, or they don't understand what the true meaning of beauty is, which is really something that comes from within. So her black hole that she needs to fill is basically filled with the flesh of people, specifically women, but again, some men, that have gone awry and have bought into this stereotype of women that is unfair and evil and not kind to their self-esteem. That's the basic storyline. There's a lot of subplots and stuff going on, but that's the basic story. The book is about my life, and the reason I'm doing it is many reasons. Most important is probably, you know, if there's anybody that I could inspire by being ridiculously, brutally, probably way too honest about, you know, what I went through from being on the streets, growing up on the streets, and then as a late teen, you know, moving to New York, but then getting into this business and all of the characters and life events, and you know, I think it's really fascinating. And but because of what so many people are going through, and you know, so many people think there is no way out, and if they only knew that, you know, I literally slept under bridges and didn't have food to eat and didn't have clothes, didn't have shoes for a while, and you know, I was able to at least get to the point where, you know, I'm still alive. I have a career of sorts, and you know, I struggle. I mean, I still have a lot of demons, but I try to put them into my work like most people do. I want to thank everybody involved with the film that allowed me to be a part of it, and it's been a real whirlwind coming in, and you know, jet lag and everything else, and yet they were very, very patient with me and kind to me, and I appreciate that, and I hope I did the film justice, because I love what I've seen, and these guys have something really, really special here. And I never wanted to be a dead
the day.